You ever look back on a moment and realize it was the exact second your whole life started bleeding out? For me, it was a Saturday afternoon when my son, Tyler, was just 8 years old. I remember it like it happened 5 minutes ago. The restaurant was slammed that day, short-staffed, people lining up outside. I was pulling a double shift, doing everything. Seating people, managing the kitchen, bartending. I was proud of it, too. Built that business from a hole in the wall into something real. Every sacrifice, every hour away from home, it was all supposed to be for them. For my family. If you're enjoying the story so far, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I didn't get home till after 2 a.m. House was dark, quiet. I remember thinking, man, I miss my family. Next morning, I wake up to find Tyler sitting at the kitchen table, staring into his cereal like it personally offended him. "Hey, buddy," I said. He didn't answer. Just kept stirring. I asked what was wrong. And in this tiny, shaky voice, he says, "I saw Mommy kissing Uncle Dave." I swear to God, the world stopped spinning for a second. Uncle Dave, my best friend since college. Best man at my wedding. Godfather to my son. The guy who stood next to me when I bought my first restaurant, telling me it was going to change my life. At first, I wanted to believe Tyler made a mistake. Maybe he misread something. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. But before I could even get a word out, Sarah, my wife, appeared in the doorway. She heard him. And she played it cool. Kneeled down, hugged him, kissed his forehead, whispering. Sometimes grown-ups get silly. It was a mistake, honey. A stupid, silly mistake. You can't tell Daddy, okay? It would break his heart. It was just once, and it'll never, ever happen again. Tyler, God bless him, just nodded. Because he trusted her. Because he loved her. I stood there, watching the whole thing, feeling like my heart was being wrung out like a dish rag. And like a coward, I said nothing. I wanted to believe her too. I wanted to believe that one night of weakness could just dissolve if I loved her hard enough. If I worked harder. If I was just better somehow. I shoved it down. Buried it under 12-hour shifts and date nights and birthday parties and business expansion plans. For a while, it even seemed like it worked. Sarah was sweeter. Tyler was happy. Dave didn't come around as much. Maybe it really was a mistake. Maybe life could just keep rolling. I told myself that all the way up until the day she told me she was pregnant again. And that's when the nightmare really started. Because deep down, under all the hope and all the denial, I already knew. That baby wasn't mine. The day Sarah told me she was pregnant, I should have been the happiest man alive. That's what I told myself, anyway. That's what I said out loud, smiling like a fool while my gut twisted into a knot so tight I thought I'd throw up right there on the goddamn kitchen floor. "You're gonna be a daddy again," she said, tears in her eyes, clutching a little stick with 2 pink lines on it. She wrapped her arms around me, buried her face in my chest. I hugged her back like a robot, stiff, mechanical, cold. Because all I could hear was Tyler's voice in my head from months ago. I saw Mommy kissing Uncle Dave. And now there was a new life growing inside her. A life that might not even have anything to do with me. The doubt was a slow-acting poison. At first, I pushed it away, same as before. Threw myself into the restaurant even harder. Opened a second location. Bigger, flashier, drawing in influencers and news articles. I told myself, build an empire, and all the cracks at home will seal themselves up. It worked for a little while. Or at least it looked like it did. Sarah glowed through the pregnancy. Tyler was excited about becoming a big brother. Dave even came back around more, hanging out, helping with repairs around the house, being the charming, helpful friend everyone adored. And me. I drowned myself in denial. But denial is like duct tape over a dam. Eventually, it breaks. And when it does, everything floods out. The first real crack happened when I came home early one afternoon after a supplier meeting got canceled. I walked in through the garage and heard laughing. Sarah's laugh, soft and breathy, followed by Dave's deeper rumble. I froze. Peeking around the corner, I saw them in the living room. Sarah sitting on the couch, Dave sitting a little too close. She touched his arm when she laughed, this little intimate gesture you don't use with someone you're just friends with. And when he tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, she didn't even flinch. She smiled. She leaned into it. It wasn't innocent. Not by a mile. I backed away before they could see me, stomach turning, heart pounding in my ears. That night, lying next to her while she slept, I stared at the ceiling for hours, feeling like a ghost in my own goddamn house. I needed to know. I needed the truth, no matter how much it gutted me. So I started being smarter. Subtle. I installed a backup security camera above the garage, hidden inside an old smoke detector. A small one in the living room light fixture too. Wireless. Invisible. If they slipped up, I'd catch them. Meanwhile, I started dropping questions into conversations with Sarah, little innocent-seeming questions. Hey, how's Dave doing? Haven't seen him around much. Think we should ask someone else to help with the nursery instead of bothering Dave all the time? Her reactions were too smooth. Too rehearsed. Lying was second nature to her now. The footage rolled in slowly over the next few weeks. Nothing explosive at first. Just touches that lingered too long. Whispers. Quick glances when they thought no one was watching. No full-on affair scenes. Yet. But I was patient. And then came the night that shattered whatever little pieces of denial I had left. I sat in my office at the restaurant, watching live footage from my phone, when I saw it. Dave. In my house. At 10 p.m. Sarah answering the door in nothing but a robe. A quick glance around, and then she pulled him inside, kissed him like she hadn't seen him in years. I wanted to throw my phone through the wall. Wanted to drive straight home and tear the whole damn house apart. But I didn't. Not yet. Because anger is messy. And messy doesn't win. Patience wins. And now that I had proof, the only thing left to do was sharpen it into a weapon so lethal neither of them would ever recover. The next morning, I made pancakes. Yep. Pancakes. Whipped cream smiley faces, chocolate chips, the whole 9 yards. Tyler laughed his head off, Sarah kissed my cheek, and for all the world, we looked like the perfect family. Picture frame perfect. Inside, I was ice cold. Because now I knew 2 things for sure. 1. My wife was cheating on me with my best friend. 2. My unborn child probably wasn't mine. But if they thought they could keep playing me, smiling in my face while stabbing me in the back, they had another thing coming. I wasn't going to blow up and scream. I wasn't going to start throwing dishes or storming out. No. That's what they would expect. Instead, I was going to make them pay in the worst possible way. By taking away everything they cared about. Quietly. Thoroughly. Forever. First step. Securing Tyler. He was my whole world, even more now that everything else was crumbling. I needed him safe, and away from her influence if it came to that. I met with a lawyer, a bulldog of a woman named Harris who specialized in high-asset divorces and custody battles. Didn't tell her everything yet, but I laid enough cards on the table. She told me exactly what to start doing. Document everything. Stay squeaky clean. Keep Tyler close without tipping Sarah off. Every day after school, Tyler came to the restaurant. He thought it was for fun, extra time with Dad, free milkshakes, homework in the office. He didn't know I was building an alibi, a pattern. Me being the primary parent, the stable one. Meanwhile, I started shifting assets. Slowly. Carefully. The restaurants were already in my name only, but some of the house assets and savings accounts were joint. I opened a few new accounts under just my name. Moved the business profits into them, bit by bit. Paid off debts. Sold off unnecessary properties under the radar. Sarah was too busy planning baby showers and sneaking off with Dave to notice. Perfect. Second step. Exposing Dave. See, Dave wasn't just my best friend. He was also a silent partner in my first restaurant. Small share, but still. Technically, He profited off my success. And I had plans for that. I started digging through our business contracts. Found loopholes he'd forgotten about. Found payments he hadn't reported on his own taxes. Found little shady deals he'd made over the years, back when I was too busy working to notice. And once I had the dirt, I sat back and waited for the right moment. The night before everything went nuclear, Sarah and I were lying in bed. She was scrolling through baby names on her phone, humming under her breath, looking so damn normal it made my skin crawl. She asked me if I was happy. I said, "I've never been happier." And in a way, it was true. Because revenge was close enough to taste. And God, it was sweet. The final move came faster than even I expected. One afternoon, I accidentally left my phone open on the kitchen table. Video footage from the security cams queued up and ready to play. Tyler, curious like kids are, clicked it. I made sure I was the one who found him sitting there, eyes wide, mouth open, watching his mother kiss Uncle Dave. He didn't say a word. Just looked at me, heartbroken. And that's when I knew. It was time. The next morning, I served Sarah divorce papers before she even finished her coffee. Full custody petition. Adultery evidence attached. Her face went sheet white. She didn't even deny it. She knew. Dave tried to call me later that day, begging, crying, apologizing. He found out the hard way that I'd already frozen him out of the restaurant partnership. Audit reports sent to the IRS. Whispers to local business owners about his untrustworthy nature. His reputation in the community? Dead in the water. In less than 72 hours, both of them had lost everything they cared about. Each other. Their money. Their stability. Their image. And me. I didn't raise my voice once. Didn't throw a single punch. I just smiled. Because real revenge isn't loud. It's surgical. It's permanent. And this was just the beginning. After Sarah got served with the divorce papers, things unraveled fast. At first, she did what all guilty people do. She played the victim. Tears. Begging. Standing on the front porch screaming about how she made a mistake, and we can fix this, and think about the kids. Neighbors poking their heads out, pretending not to listen. I didn't say a word. Just closed the door in her face. The next few weeks were a flurry of legal attacks. She hired a pit bull lawyer and tried to spin the whole thing, claimed I was neglectful, absent, emotionally distant. Tried to flip the script, make it seem like she was the wronged one, and the affair was just her coping with years of loneliness. Classic. Problem was, I wasn't stupid. I had receipts for everything. Hours and hours of video evidence. Copies of text messages between her and Dave. Financial records showing money she siphoned from our accounts for secret getaways. Witness statements from restaurant staff who overheard her bragging to friends. Every move she made, I had an answer ready. The family court judge didn't take long to side with me. Full custody of Tyler granted to me. Child support payments assigned to her. Prenup enforced, meaning she got barely a slice of what we built together. Her lawyer looked like he wanted to throw up when the ruling came down. Sarah. She just sat there, staring into nothing. Like the universe had swallowed her whole. And then came the DNA test. It was standard in custody battles, especially when adultery's involved. Sarah fought it tooth and nail. Why do you need it? Crying and yelling about trust. But I insisted. I had to know. Even if the answer broke what little was left of me. Weeks later, the results came in. Tyler. Mine. No question. 99.9% match. He was my blood, my heart. The baby she was carrying, not mine. Not even close. Less than 5% probability of paternity. Meaning Dave was more than likely the father. When I showed Sarah the results, she crumpled into a chair, sobbing like her soul was breaking in two. I didn't comfort her. I didn't even blink. Because by then, all the tears in the world couldn't patch what she had ripped apart with her own hands. Dave tried to stick around for a while after everything came crashing down. tried to play happy family with Sarah, stepping into the role he stole. But karma has a funny way of kicking people where it hurts most. Word got out about his affair with a married woman, me, a pretty well-respected guy in town. Restaurants started refusing to do business with him. Old college friends cut him off. His job offers dried up. He went from owning a nice little condo downtown to sleeping on a buddy's couch, last I heard. As for Sarah, she gave birth a few months later. Alone. No family there. No friends. Not even Dave. Just her, and the consequences she chose. She tried texting me once after the baby was born, some long, rambling message about forgiveness and second chances, about how we could be a family again if you just open your heart. I didn't even open it. I just blocked her number. Meanwhile, Tyler and I built something stronger than ever. He was old enough to understand that something big had changed, but not all the ugly details. And I was determined to keep it that way. We moved to a new house. Smaller, simpler, but ours. He started calling the restaurant Dad's Empire, helping me wipe tables after school, joking about becoming the boss someday. Every time I looked at him, I thanked God I didn't let the bitterness eat me alive. Because no matter what Sarah and Dave tried to steal from me, they couldn't take the one thing that mattered. My son. And they sure as hell couldn't take my dignity. But even after everything was settled, even after the divorce finalized and the assets were divided and the ink dried, there was still one final thing left to do. One last piece of closure. Not for revenge. Not for justice. For me. A few months after the dust settled, after the court dates and the screaming matches and the awkward stares around town, I realized I was still carrying it. All of it. The betrayal. The anger. The humiliation. Even after stripping them of everything, even after getting full custody of Tyler and rebuilding our life, there was still this heavy thing sitting in my chest like a brick. I needed to get rid of it. Not by hurting them more, they were doing a fine job destroying themselves. I needed something different. Something real. Something final. It started with a letter. Not an email. Not a text. An old-school, handwritten letter. I sat at my kitchen table late one night, staring at the blank paper while Tyler slept upstairs. The house was quiet, except for the soft hum of the fridge and the occasional creak of the walls settling. At first, I didn't even know what I wanted to say. What do you write to someone who took everything good in your life and set it on fire? But eventually, the words found me. Not angry words. Not accusations. Just the truth. I wrote, Sarah, there was a time when I loved you more than life itself. A time when I would have fought the world for you. You didn't just cheat on me with Dave. You cheated our son. You cheated our family. You cheated yourself. You traded a lifetime of love, loyalty, and stability for a few cheap moments of validation. I could hate you for that. But I don't. Not anymore. I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I refuse to carry your mistakes any longer. You will have to live with your choices. You will have to explain them one day to the child you brought into this world under false pretenses. As for me, I'm done with you. Completely. Permanently. Peacefully. Mark. I folded the letter, sealed it, and dropped it in the mail the next morning without hesitation. No return address. No way for her to reply. It wasn't for her anyway. It was for me. It was my final word. After that, it was like the world opened up again. The bitterness faded little by little. Food started to taste better. The sun felt warmer. Laughing with Tyler didn't feel like patching a wound anymore. It felt like breathing again. The restaurant thrived. We opened a third location by the end of the year, and people started calling it a local institution. Tyler became obsessed with cooking too. He'd pull a stool up to the stove next to me, stirring sauces, tasting soups, grinning from ear to ear when he nailed a recipe. He even started calling himself Chef Tyler around the house. Every time he laughed, every time he threw his arms around me at bedtime, I knew I had made the right choice. To stay strong. To protect him. To rebuild something better. For both of us. As for Sarah and Dave? Last I heard, Dave skipped town, chasing some business opportunity that never panned out. Sarah stayed, raising a child alone, barely scraping by, trapped in the same town where everyone knew her real story. I didn't hate her anymore. But I didn't pity her either. She made her choices. And so did I. Mine led to a future. Hers led to a cage she built herself. You always hear people say revenge feels empty. That once you get it, it doesn't make anything better. They're wrong. Revenge, real revenge, isn't about destroying someone else. It's about choosing yourself. It's about rising from the ashes of what they tried to burn down. It's about living so well, they become a footnote in a chapter they'll never be allowed to read. I'm not the same man I was when this all started. And honestly, thank God for that. Because sometimes losing everything you thought you wanted is the only way to find what you actually needed.